to the Gezelle Talk Show. Ooh, girl, the category is pop culture. The category is entertainment. The category is politics. The category is fashion. Welcome to the Gezelle Talk Show. 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 Hey, how y'all doing? How is everybody today on this beautiful Thursday? Well, we are back for a whole new season, whole new look, whole new get up. Y'all can't even get into my girl over here. You know, I gotta change some things. Okay, we are back. I had to get everything situated, all that good stuff. Had to get the setup right, okay, for you guys. Now, I'm hoping you guys can hear me pretty good. My mic that I supposed to have on me, the piece that I need to it is not here at the moment, so we can't connect to it right now. So, my apologies. I just hope you guys can hear me good and all that stuff there. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with the Gezelle Talk Show. We got a whole new look, whole new set for you, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Just as well as I hope you're going to enjoy this new content and everything that I'm about to drop for you guys. Okay. Now, if you haven't done so, go get your cocktails, go get your snacks, okay? Go get your cell phone, all that good stuff. Put everything by you. Go get the kids situated and come on back. Have a seat so we can have a good time and we can get this show on the road, okay? Because I feel it in my spirits that this is going to be a very, very, very good show. I can feel it in my spirits, okay? So, let me just set this up real quick. Something deep down in my soul said, cry, girl. The Mr. coming back. I'll try to edit all this out. If I can't, then y'all just see all the behind the scenes as well. Because we're getting it together here, okay? We're getting it together here. I want to go live for my viewers, for my Facebook viewers. Yeah. Let me add the description on here. I apologize, you guys. I should have had all this already set up. But we're getting it started here. Okay, all right. Let's get this lighting on and popping. 10. Everything on 10 and we back and we ready to roll. How's everybody doing on this Thursday? Trying to reconnect. Okay, are you connected now? Are you with me now? I hope so. I'm doing too much. Oh, goodness, I got my stuff falling down behind me. Oh, give me a second. Let me fix this. Let me fix my little setup now. Let me fix my little setup. Here. Now, y'all go get y'all cocktails and all that good stuff and get your snacks. And come on back because we got some things we finna discuss today. Yes, God. We got some things we're going to be discussing today. And if y'all haven't done so, make sure y'all go subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Gezelle Talk Show. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Gezelle Talk Show. Subscribe, share, like, comment, all that good stuff. Show a bitch some love, okay? Now, Facebook, y'all getting the rough ends of everything, so that's why it's all shifted to the side and all that. This is actually a video that I'm doing for my YouTube channel, so make sure y'all following so y'all can get it all in the flesh and in the good, you know, all that good stuff. And I see my internet keep breaking up over there, so make sure y'all follow me. I don't know how I'm looking. I hope I'm looking okay for you guys because I really set it up for my video over here, and I look good over here. She glowing, baby. She glowing. Yes. Shout out to Glam Squad. Me. listen, we want to get right into it, get right down to business. I wanted to open up and talk about traumatizing childhoods, okay? Does a traumatizing childhood affect you as an adult? Does it make you a better adult, or do it make you worse as an adult? You know, irresponsible, you know, very moody and all over the place. Yeah, I want to talk about that. Traumatizing childhoods. Sometimes you don't even know or realize that you've been traumatized in your childhood. You just know that it's something that's not making sense to you, something that's not adding up. It's a blank somewhere. It's a discomfort. It's a misinformation. Something somewhere is just not connecting in your life. And sometimes that's caused by trauma. And as humans, we'll tend to block out something that is very detrimental or devastating to us. We'll block that stuff out. And with doing so, once we grow and we forget about that, but then there's still that hollow space that we're trying to fill, but it's unable to be filled. And it's like, is there some type of trauma that was caused in my childhood that is causing this? Or you may grow up and just start just acting out and just doing things that you know is wrong and you shouldn't be doing, but because of the way that you were raised and brought up, this is what you know. So this is what you resort to. And sometimes, you know, just all of what you know, and don't make it right, you know, and sometimes it doesn't make it all wrong, but it's what works best for you at that time. But I think a lot of us, especially us that was born, you know, in the 80s, and our parents were young and we were raised by our grandparents who did the absolute best that they could do. Somewhere along the line, we were traumatized, you know, when you are yearning for the presence of your parents and they're not there, it can cause some type of devastation for you, or some type of you know, just send you into a depressed state as it continues and become a continuous pattern. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Zay. But yeah, so it's like I know from personal experience just how, you know, that can cause trauma, and you may not know it. You can go throughout your whole life. I'll be 40 this year, okay? And I went out my whole life not realizing how traumatized I was as a kid, you know? And I had a pretty good childhood. I had a pretty good upbringing, but it can cause, I wanted to really, really, really talk about that and get into that, because it might be someone somewhere who are facing battles that they don't understand, and it may be caused by trauma, and it's something that they need to go back and face in order to accept and let go of it so they can then move on, you know? So that's something I had to deal with. I had to forgive. I had to let go and forget and not go back and beat myself up about stuff, because what we have to understand, switching topics, is forgiveness. You know, we have to understand with forgiveness, that is not something that is for another individual. Forgiveness is something that is for you. It is something to put yourself at peace. Something where you're not continuing to beat yourself up, keep going back over the same situations, keep dealing with the same people, or having to explain yourself in certain situations. It's, you know, it's like it's a back and forth type of thing. No, you have to just be an adult, face the problem head on, forgive that individual, even if you never speak to them again. Because I've seen this somewhere, and it says something about, you can forgive a person, and that doesn't mean that we have to speak or be friends. We don't have to rekindle a relationship or a friendship or any of that, and we can just be cordial. We may not speak when we see each other. We may pass each other and keep going, and that's fine. But we know deep inside, I don't hate you, you don't hate me. I hold no grudges against you, and I'm hoping that you're holding no grudges against me. And that's being an adult and forgiving in situations. And a lot of people can't do that. So a lot of people are stuck in certain situations just because they fail to forgive that other party, and it's beating and it's weighing on them. And it's so sad, but it's true. It's true, and we have to start speaking about it. We have to start facing these things, facing these facts. My other question that I wanted to get into and ask was, do you get what you give in a relationship? Thank you, my love. Thank you, cousin. Do you get what you give in a relationship? A lot of us go throughout these relationships and we carry our partners. I know in the beginning, a lot of the people that I dealt with, I carried them. It wasn't until I met Maurice that I actually met someone who was willing to carry me, to do stuff for me, to take care of me, to get the check and bring it home and say, here, take care of the bills, handle the business. So it's like, but in that relationship, although the financial part was situated, it wasn't big finances, but it was something. But there was a lot of it was a lot of lack of, because you had one party that was doing so much for the relationship, which was actually trying to keep the relationship flourishing and healthy and everything. And then you had another party that was really just trying to make sure that they had a roof over their head and had some pussy that they could lay up in when they was ready to. And with that, it's never going to work, okay? Because you got to have somebody that's on the same page as you, where you're able, when you're moving up in the world, they moving up with you, okay? Or they're trying to push you to move up. If they moving up, they trying to pull you with them to move on up as well. They inspiring you. And that's what I found once I found my love that I'm with now. I found a partner. I found a team player. I found someone who inspired me, who motivated me, who pushed me to be my absolute best. And that's what you want. And it's out there. It's out there for each and every one of us. God created someone particularly for you. In particular, he created that human being for you. You just got to be patient. You got to do the work that is needed. You have to get yourself together. It wasn't until I got myself together, I started getting myself together, I started realizing and understanding what was needed to be done, that he started blessing me with a partner that can understand me, a partner that can invest in me, a partner that could see my best. Even though I was at my lowest, they seen my absolute best. And that's what you want. That's what you want to pray for. That's everybody talk about the Sierra prayer. The Sierra prayer, where it wasn't until Sierra stopped trying to aim for the guys who she thought was what she wanted, when God brought her what she needed. Okay? So you have to just be patient. Sometimes you got to be patient. You got to stand still. And you got to let them work. Just do your part. Work, save your money, get your finances right, get your credit right, get your home, whatever it is. Get yourself situated. So you can be more than just a wife. Okay? You could be a wife, a friend, a partner, a best friend. You could be all of those things. The homie, all of that. And that's what you really want to aim for. Not that I know it all, but I'm just saying for personal experience, this is what I know. We'll get back to these questions, because I do have some more that I want to speak to y'all about and stuff. But I want to get into some of the subjects, the topics and stuff that I wanted to talk about. Starting off with the remarkable First Lady of Television, the First Lady of TV, Miss Betty White. I loved me some Betty White. I still do. Like, Betty is the absolute bomb. Someone who has been around for like 70 years in the business is a very long time. To actually be the first face that was ever seen on television, she was the first female ever on television. That's big. Like, that is fucking big. So, like she said, her and TV grew up together. I've read this magazine front to back. I had already watched so many of her documentaries and all of her shows and everything. So I knew how great she was a person, an animal activist and everything. So it was really very much so devastating. What was crazy was I was in the grocery store when this magazine hit the shelves. And I seen it sitting up there and she was smiling at me. And I walked past it and was like, oh, they did a thing on Betty White. That's what's up. I'm like, because, yeah, she's about to be 100. And they was like, American Golden Girl turned 100. I'm like, oh, wow. But I walked past it. I go and finish grocery shopping. And then I head on home. When I get home, I get the call that she had passed. And I was like, I literally just seen her magazine in the grocery store and look right at it. And I was just so in shock. So the next day I went back to the grocery store and I got the magazine. Yeah. I went back and I got it and I read it and it's super good. I got Aretha's, I got Marilyn's, I got like all of them. I love Hollywood. I love those girls. I love the golden ages. I love the golden era. I love history. I like to see where we started from, you know, and just where we're headed. And sometimes it's not all good, but sometimes I can truly say it's not all bad. Definitely. So I have an article here that I want to read to you guys, and this is says Betty White died in her sleep due to natural causes, her agent told ABC News. As we all know, actress Betty White passed away. It was in her sleep on Friday. Her agent has confirmed to ABC News. My understanding is it was natural causes. She died in her sleep in her own bed. It's as simple as that, the agent deaf witness said in a phone conversation. Witness dismissed rumors that White died from complications from COVID-19 booster shot. Betty didn't have illnesses. She didn't have anything. People are putting it out there that she had the booster on December 28th. I did read this. And that she had effects. She never had a booster, he said. Oh, wow. So, excuse me. So, yes, I did read that she had the booster on December 28th. And then she passed away later that 2 days later. So but her agent said that she did not have the booster shot. So that was all fabricated. That's crazy. He said they're politicizing her death, and they shouldn't do that because she wasn't that type of person in life. He told ABC News that he visited White in her home about a month before she died and found her to be all there. He said all but physically frail. We were laughing. Her sense of humor was there. He said White died less than 3 weeks before her 100th birthday on January the 17th. That was so shocking. But if you guys have not checked it out, Netflix have a documentary on Betty White called The First Lady of Television. It is super good. It's super informative. It has so much about history, about our history of television, about her being the First Lady of Television, all of the numerous accounts of shows that she's done, and even some of the movies that she's did. So if you guys haven't checked it out, y'all should probably check that out. It's on Netflix, and it's called Betty White, the First Lady of TV. Now, everyone should really be honoring Betty. Everybody should be really honoring Betty because, I mean, she was a treasure. She was our country's treasure. Just a beautiful soul. When I was watching the documentary, she had, I think his name was Arthur Duncan, who was a dancer and singer back in the 30s. And he was a black man. She had him on her Betty White show, which was like a sketch show or whatever. And he used to dance and sing. And when her show started going mainstream and syndicated, and it started picking up everywhere, they asked in the South that, you know, she take him off the show. They didn't want to see a black man, a colored man on this white woman show dancing and singing around or whatever. So Betty responded like, no, I'm not taking him off. If he go, I go. We're a team. And I thought that was so big, you know, back in those days, because that could have been a career ender. That could have ruined her career and ended anything that she started by her standing up for that. But she did. She took that risk. And to this day, Arthur Duncan, I believe that's his name, credits Betty White for starting his television career. And I think that's major. That's major. It's beautiful. And it shows you just the true heart of America and just who we truly are. Not who they make us out to be, not who they portray us to be, you know, not what they choose to focus on or show popularity to. You know, it really speaks on us as people and who we truly are as Americans, you know? Now let's get into some shit, okay? I'm going to speak some real. Let's get into some shit. Because that's what this is. This right here, this is some straight up bullshit. So Tristian Thompson have impregnated another woman, okay? Had impregnated another woman after he's tried all these attempts of him trying to get back with Khloe. And like, I think this is the most womanizing whore of a man there is. I really do believe that. And a lot of people, you know, they go at Khloe because she's a Kardashian, and people, you know, they just dislike the Kardashians. I don't understand that whole thing because I think Kardashians was a prime example of America, you know? And they showed you just how you can turn a negative into a positive and make it so lucrative. You know, if you do the right things and make the right moves. And that's what they did. And people hated them for it. You know, hated them. Any and everything that they did, people hated. But I don't think, you know, you should blame a woman for a man's infidelity. You know, and then him to continue to be just freely fucking over on her while she in the limelight. I think that was just so embarrassing. I think it was very embarrassing and sad. Yeah, very embarrassing and sad. You know, the stuff that he did with Jordan Woods, And people still blame Khloe and, you know, talk bad about Khloe like, oh, she got rid of Jordan and he still cheated on her and blah, blah, blah. And I don't think it's so much if she got rid of Jordan. Jordan, I mean, why would she continue to be around if you slept with your best friend's sister's baby daddy? Why would I continue to be around? It's always going to be an underlying beef there. It's always going to be some shit said when I leave the room. So why subject myself to it? Crazy. But anyhow, Tristian has officially confirmed that he fathered a child with Marley Nichols, who sued Thompson for child support and pregnancy-related expenses. In a public statement confirming the news, the NBA star accepted full responsibility for his actions and apologized to Khloe Kardashian for causing her shame, the heartache yet again in a public way. Tristian shared on his Instagram stories. I don't care to read what he said word for word because he don't mean it. He don't mean it. He's the prime example of a piece of shit baby daddy. And he's a millionaire. So it just goes to show you, I seen Yandy and Remy Ma on a live last night, and they was talking, and Yandy said, no. Remy said all men are the same. And Yandy was like, well, how could you say that when you got such a A1 woke husband, stick by your side, loyal, committed, all this stuff here. And she was saying, like, not so in the light of, you know, the things, them as a whole and their character and everything, but it's their actions that she's saying. It's pretty much the same. And that's true. She said you can call a bitch in Spain and you can call a bitch in Arabia. You can call a bitch in India, China, wherever. If the pussy is easy to get, the nigga gon' fuck. Okay? Simple as that. He gon' fuck. And these days and times, that means absolutely nothing because a nigga lay up and put some dick in you. That means nothing. What means something is if he puts some money into your bank account, enough for you and your child or whoever to survive. What means something is if he puts you in a home, if he puts you in a car, if he puts you in position to win. That means something. Coming home every night, that means something. If you doing what's right. But just getting dick put up in you and feeling like, oh, I'm finna, you know, like, no, that's the most weakest, that's the most stupidest shit ever. Ever. A nigga gon' fuck. Like she said, all men are the same. And that's true when it comes down to that. If it's temptation there, they're usually gonna take the bait. Sad, but true. Now the news about him having this child with this woman comes just weeks after the 30-year-old athlete denied having sex with her. She filed the paternity case claiming that the only possible date conception for this child is March 13th, 2021, which is his birthday when he was in Texas. However, in December, Nicholas told E! News that she would have never gotten involved with Thompson if she thought he was in a relationship, adding that she had agreed to meet him at a private party in Houston in March, and that this was one of many nights the two spent together. It's just so sad. It's so sad, you know, that that these men do this. And it goes to show you it doesn't even matter about the financial things because Khloe is a millionaire. She's a millionaire that comes from money. And it goes to that doesn't, you can't buy love. You can't even buy love or loyalty. Clearly. Love or loyalty. And that's so, it's crazy. And this man continued to keep doing this shit. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, you continuously doing it, and then you'll say you're fighting for your family. And, oh, I'm fighting for my family and this woman that I want to be my wife. But how? How? I'm thinking that he might be a sex addict. He might be like Martell Holt. And he might be a sex addict. And just can't, just can't say no. Like, he got to get it. He got to have it. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm rarely wrong. But I could be wrong. But because that's just... look, it got my head itching. Got me scratching my head. Because I can't understand how you all on this show, right before the show was over, looking like a damn fool, like trying to be involved in this girl's life, and she's clearly not giving you the time, the energy, any of it. She just wasn't there for her. That's just crazy. Only for you to fuck her over and get somebody else pregnant. With men like that, you have to leave them alone. Because they ain't going to stop until you stop fucking with them. Because they going to fuck around and give your ass something that you can't get rid of. Because they too fucking promiscuous. So Tiffany Haddish reveals why she's disappointed with Common after their breakup. I never knew that they confirmed them being together. I remember it was rumored that her and Common was together, but I never knew that it was confirmed that they were an actual item. But here they go. Just as clear as day. Smiling and cheesing and giggling and all that good stuff there. Hey, babe. How you doing? Yes. So, I don't even know what. But anyhow, yeah, so, Tiffany Haddish basically was disappointed. I read somewhere. She was very disappointed with Common. His lack of effort in the relationship of them being together. He was always working, she was always working, whatever. So they weren't able to make it work. But anyhow, in more local news, speak about something about us. Trying to make sure I get it all. This was very disappointing to read about the girl from Orlando who was missing. And they had found her body. The coroners they revealed that her homicide was by undetermined means. They say 3 months after the body of Maya Marcano was found bound with duct tape in a wooded area, medical examiners have ruled her death a homicide. Now, this is the girl that was in Orlando. And I really want to say that she was working at a leasing office. And it might have been the janitor or something of the sort who caused her death. It was crazy. Great. You're looking amazing. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. And also, an autopsy report from the Orange County Medical Examiner Office revealed that Marcano died of homicide by undetermined means. Fox News 35 Orlando reports. The ruling came after the 19-year-old college student was found dead in the woods near an Orlando apartment complex on October 2nd. Marcano was a sophomore at Valencia College when she was last seen around 5 p.m. on September the 24th in Arden Villas Apartments, where she lived and worked in the leasing office. Over a week later, her remains were located almost 18 miles west of her home. The police report says Marcano's body was nearly completely skeletonized, with black duct tape around her neck, ankles, and wrists. In my opinion, the manner in which she was found with multiple restraints and her disposition in an abandoned area of an apartment complex indicates some type of assault. Orange County Chief Medical Examiner Joseph D. Stephanie said in the autopsy report. It's so sad, like, when are we going to get to this where we stop with all of this fucking killing and all this crazy shit? I've seen more deaths take place last year and the beginning of this year than I have ever in my life. Ever. Especially young kids. So many young kids didn't even make it to 25 or 21 that was killed, murdered at the hands of another child. It's crazy. They say Armando Manuel Caballero was the prime suspect in her disappearance and death. The 27-year-old was reportedly found dead from an apparent suicide on Monday, September 27th, according to investigators. Caballero worked as a maintenance person at the Arden Villas Apartments since June. The sheriff said authorities believe Caballero might have developed a romantic interest in Marcano and was turned down by the college sophomore. Detectives was led to the apartment complex by Caballero's phone records that showed he was in the area for around 20 minutes between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. on the day Marcano disappeared. Authorities believe Caballero snuck into Marcano's apartment using maintenance-issued master key before she got off work. They say there is no doubt he was waiting for her, knowing she was going to be coming home from work. So it's just so sad, So sad. So you rather just fuck her and kill her rather than being patient and keep pursuing her, hoping one day she'll say okay and take you up on your offer to date you. Because just because she turned you down then doesn't mean that she wasn't going to be with you at all. She just right then and there, she wasn't interested at the time. But you could have still furthered your interests. You could have still, tried to befriend her, been just a friend. Some of the best relationships started out as just friends. But that's crazy that, he would get upset because she don't want to date him and then kill her. Like, okay, now you're going to prison to be around nothing but dicks and ass. What was the point? What was the point? Just crazy. So this case I was reading about, it really, it was really bothering to me because what I could not understand for the life of me that was when I was investigating and looking into researching about it, it was about the truck driver on the Colorado, it was Colorado, and we all know it's snowing there. So he's driving a big rig truck and the brakes fault. The brakes are faulty, whatever. They go out. So he's unable to stop. And he hit the many cars, and he killed 4 people died, I want to say. They arrested him for that. Now, mind you, this was a company's truck. This isn't his truck. This was a company's truck. But he's being arrested because the brakes faulted and 4 people were injured and killed. I don't feel like he's liable for that because that was out of his control. If it was something like he was intoxicated, drinking and driving, or he was just speeding and did not stop in time, that would be understandable. But for it to be that the brakes faulted, and that's what caused the accident, and then you to turn around and arrest him, prosecute him, and convict him to 110 years, I thought that was so beyond me. And I'm like, this gotta be a black man. It must be a black man. But when I looked into it, I seen, no, it wasn't a black man, but he was a Latina. He was Latina. But anyway, it was a crash that left 4 people dead. It was so bothering to me because I could not understand how they were giving this man 110 years. So they said due to the Colorado law, when you murder somebody, you're automatically, it's an automatic 35 years or something is the minimum. So he had 4 people that was dead, so it was whatever, 110 years. However, whatever the numbers are, but it's 30 years. 30 years, yeah. I just thought that was just over sentencing, and he was not even the one that was responsible for the accident. So a petition went up. I seen Kim Kardashian speak about this. I seen a lot of people speaking about their discomfort with what he was handed down. Governor Jared Polis' decision, he decided to commute the truck driver's 110-year prison sentence to only 10 years. Sam Polis put himself in the middle of the controversy and calling him social media reaction to the crash frustrating. Oh, whatever. But anyhow, so the family of some of the victims, they're speaking out because they're having a problem with them commuting his sentence. But I think what they need to understand is that no matter how much time he gets, it's not going to bring their family, their deceased family member back. It's not going to bring them any sympathy or anything. It's not going to bring them any comfort knowing this man is in jail, taken away from his wife, his kids, his job, his future for 110 years for a truck that he was driving that belonged to a company that the brakes faulted on. I don't even think that would be right. I don't even think he should serve any time because it wasn't his fault. Simple as that. I mean, if I'm wrong, y'all inbox me, let me know if I'm wrong. But I really don't feel like he should be serving any time for brakes that faulted and 4 people was killed. He was just driving the vehicle that his job assigned him to drive. But some of the victims' family is speaking up, and they're saying that they feel like it's like losing their family members all over again because they just keep reliving this because, you know, people keep talking about it, and the judge basically being as lenient as he was. But I don't think he was being lenient. I think, for one, what I had read, they were saying the judge they sentenced him to the only thing that they could sentence him to, which was the 110 years. So they had to go back with the governor and go back and forth or whatever to commute that and get that down. And the lowest that they can get it down to was 10 years. But like I said, I don't feel like he had great enough representation. He couldn't have had a good lawyer for them to let this shit fly. I don't, like, it bothers me. He couldn't have had a good lawyer to even let that fly for people, for them to say, okay, well, we'll just give him 10 years then. No, because that's 10 years away from his children, 10 years away from his family, 10 years away from his job, 10 years just of his life just wasted. When only thing he was doing was trying to make a living for him and his family. If anything, those 4 victims' families should be suing the company that he worked for to try to hold them liable, because they're the ones. Why would you issue a company car out to someone that's faulty if the brakes are not working 100%? That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. I don't know if I said Happy New Year's to you all, but Happy New Year's, everybody. It is a whole new year. This is 2022. So glad we made it. I don't know if y'all watch the New York ball drop. I always watch it every year, the New Year's Eve ball drop in Times Square. It's very entertaining because, I always wanted to be there. So I love to watch it and see all the excitement, all the people, all that good stuff. This year, these last few years has been very entertaining with Andy Cohen and and the other, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. Anderson Cooper, yeah, with them two. So exciting. So good, so entertaining. Just have you laughing nonstop, What was crazy was Andy got really drunk this year. Usually it's Anderson Cooper. Last year was Anderson Cooper that got over intoxicated. This year it was Andy Cohen. And baby, he took them up and through there. He talked about everything and everybody, and I was here for it. I thought it was the most entertaining and funniest shit ever. They say after Andy Cohen went viral for talking smack about outgoing New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, it looks like CNN is less than thrilled with the producer. This is what was said. So much so Cohen, 53, who hosted alongside pal Anderson Cooper, will most likely not be welcome back next year. Well, guys, I'm not going to finish that story because I can confirm that he will be back next year. They did speak about it, whatever took place, but they did make a statement saying that he will be back next year and how much they love they love his entertainment. They love his presence. They love everything about Andy. So, yeah. Dick Clark used to do such a wonderful job, and I think they do very, very, very remarkable jobs. The next day, Cohen claimed he had too much to drink. He says, I was a hair overserved last night. But man, did I have fun. I hope you did too. Happy New Year, everybody, is what he wrote on his Instagram. I thought, they keep saying, he went too far. I don't think he went too far. But anyhow, people are just so mean. They're like, what does CNN expect? This is the guy that created the Real Housewives. He interviews reality train wrecks, not world leaders and real newsmakers. A third insider said Andy works for Bravo's parent company, NBC, but they didn't want him that night. Instead, they went with Miley Cyrus and Pete Davidson. If Andy wants to make a fool of himself on December 31st, better he do it on CNN rather than NBC. Wow. Wow. But what they need to put up is the ratings. Let the numbers talk. You say he made a fool. Others say he was very entertaining. Let the numbers talk. So what I'm going to do is find out what was the ratings for CNN and NBC. And we'll post those on our Instagram page, the Gezelle Talk Show Podcast. And we'll see what those numbers were. And see who had, the best night. Or who embarrassed themselves. Because I find that crazy. I thought he did a remarkable job. I thought it was really good. It was very entertaining. It was very funny. Super, super good. Yes. So, like I said, I wanted us to get back into our questions or whatever. So the last one was, what is your limit? Now I can talk to my people over here on Facebook. What is your limit in a relationship? What will push you to letting go of a relationship, friendship, like whatever it is? This could be your best friend. It could be your boyfriend, husband, cousin, whoever. What would push you to the limit where you say, you know what? I'm just done with this shit and just let it go. And let God. Now for me, I can speak and say, lack of loyalty, lack of trust, lack of understanding are the three things in a relationship and lack of communication. Those four things would have me to say, I quit. I would call it quits. I would end it. I would let it go. Because I feel like with those, as long as you have those things implemented, nothing can come between what you are building and what you're doing with your spouse. If you guys are on the same page, if they're understanding you, you're understanding them, they're supporting you, you're supporting them. Like it's a team. It's right hand wash the left hand. It's a team. But that would definitely make me end it. What will not make me end my relationship is if my husband stepped out and cheated. I will not end my relationship over cheating. Now, that does play on loyalty to a certain extent, but what you have to realize when it's another individual at play, I would never hand over my dinner on a platter to another bitch for them to eat and get full. I would never do that. Okay? Never, ever, 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 ever. You would have to hurt me. You would have to hurt my parents in some certain type of way, so on and so forth. But to actually say, they cheated or they had sex with someone and I'm over this, I'm gone. Like, it would be basically a kick in the ass because you've worked so hard to build so much in your relationship and to understand this partner. It's like, why would I then especially if you've molded that individual and prepped them and into the person who they are today. And then to just say, here you go. And not fight for your love, Now, if it was something that continued to happen, and he continued to see that individual or to step outside of our marriage, and, then I would let it go. Then I would have to say, okay, yeah, I can't do this. I can forgive you one or two times, but this is something that can't just continuously keep taking place. Because then it would make me say, well, what am I here for? What are we together for? Like, what are we trying to build? What are we trying to do? Is if soon as you get sexually aroused, you're going to go and sleep with another individual. What are we doing? You know? So, I want y'all to think about that. Think about those questions and message me on my Instagram page, the Gezelle Talk Show Podcast. Message me and let me know what would make you call it quits in your relationship. What would really make you call it quits and say, I gracefully bow out? Yeah, I don't think I can do that, but to each is their own. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with me tonight. You guys are the absolute best. You know that. I love you. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Gezelle the Gezelle Talk Show. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. Make sure you're following our Facebook page, the Gezelle Talk Show, and all that good stuff. And you can follow my main page, Gezelle Nicole Hicks Woodard, as well. And I have Gezelle Nicole, which is another page. If you guys, want to keep up with my everyday life and all that good stuff there. Tomorrow is Friday, so definitely I'll be back tomorrow with a special guest. I gotta get me a little bell. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, I'll have a special guest with me tomorrow. So yes, we are hoping everything go good, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all. Good night. Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and share the video. Thanks.